Good day, friends. Now we are here to discuss about the auxiliary boiler hydraulic pressure testing. This is one of the method by which the boilers are being tested as per the surveyor's requirement or after significant repair has been done or maybe some class requirements which is there. Now you can see the hydraulic pressure test is done when boilers which have undergone structural repairs, welding of the components, etc. Next, when surveyor calls for the hydraulic test. Next, after repairs of the pressure parts is being carried out, then and next one is your regular PMS requirements. So as per the PMS requirement, the hydraulic pressure testing is being done on the boilers. So before testing, what are the precautions to be taken? We have to carry out the thorough inspection of the boiler to make sure that all the works has to be completed. Whatever the work which is being done on the boiler, it must be completed. And all the internal surfaces must be cleaned and cleared. And along with that, all tools must be removed. Nothing should be left inside. Either you talk about spares, either you talk about any gaskets or any fittings, or even the tool also that has to be removed. Close or blank off all openings. Whatever the openings which is there in the boiler must be blanked off. Remove the any laggings or the insulation of the boiler of any parts or any area if required for the inspection of any pressure parts. So the removal of lagging is also being necessary. When we talk about the measuring tapes, it may be placed around the boiler and deflection gauges in the furnace. So as per the requirement, the deflection gauges in the furnace or any measuring tapes which are required, it has to be also done. So continuing the before testing slide, in this one we are discussing more. Now what we have to do, these are the actions to be taken. Gag the safety valves. We have to gag it. Otherwise, it can create a problem with the safety valve. Shut off the water level indicators and alarms. Because as the pressure will increase, they cannot withstand, then the water level indicator will malfunction and alarms may. Next, isolate and blank off any parts not designed to withstand the required pressure. Because we are going to do the hydraulic pressure testing, which is approximately 1.5 times more than the required pressure. So in this case, we have to do the isolation and blanking of the parts which is not designed to withstand the required pressure. Pay particular attention to de-superheaters and attemperators. So these are also not to be tested. Check that all valves operate and seat properly. So when we talk about different valves, they must be seated properly and they must be operated properly. Close all valves and drains, whatever is there, but the vent need to be kept open. Basically for the removal of air and all, and after that it has to be shut off. All manhole doors to be closed and the header plugs must be put in place. Fit the force pump. For the basically for hydraulic pressure testing, we need to have the force pump and any test gauge which must be properly calibrated, required to be fitted, must be fit on the position. Start to fill the boiler using water as close to the metal temperature. So when we are doing the hydraulic pressure testing, we should not put the cold water because of the temperature difference. It can create the leakages from the different parts possible, or maybe problem or stress development. So we should not do that. So whatever the boiler temperature is, we'll try to use the same temperature water almost. And along with that, we have to take care of that. We should give some time to boiler to stop, and then we should prepare all this and do the operation. As any sudden change in the temperature may cause leakage in the way of expanded joints. Boiler must be protected against the thermal or mechanical shock during test. So this we have to take care of. So the temperature of the boiler which we are going, temperature of the water basically, which we are going to use must be similar of the boiler temperature. Note, never do the hydraulic test on hot boiler or the soup. Next, during filling, when we are filling the water, what we have to do? During filling, checks for leak, because when we are filling some place, you will find some of the leaks. If the leakage is being found, then stop the filling until the leakage is being rectified. So means we have to drop out some of the level, and then identified leak must be rectified. Then close vents as the water issues to them. So I told you in the previous slide that vent has to be kept open. Once the air is already being pushed out and water starts coming, then we have to close the vents. Continue to fill until the boiler is continued to pressed up and all air is being released. The force pump now we use to press up the boiler slowly. If the pressure does not start to rise in first 2-3 strokes, then check for any leaks or vents for air presence and leak. So after fully pressurized, what all things has to be done? Now, after fully pressurization of the boiler, check for all visible seams and expanded joints for the sign of leakage or distortion. If at all anything you found, then it is the point which has to be marked and located for the rectification. Maintain the test pressure for about 30 minutes. When testing is completed, then slowly release the pressure. After successful completion of the hydraulic pressure testing, then it has to be slowly released. But if any leaks which has been detected earlier, then water level has to be dropped sufficiently for the leak to be rectified. And after the rectification of the leak, then we have to retest the boiler again for further no leaks. That is the main aim. After hydraulic testing is completed successfully and all leaks are being rectified successfully, then we have to remove the gags for safety valves. And after removal, they need to be finally adjusted with the steel. And if we use the raw water for doing the hydraulic testing, then we have to completely drain the water and flush the complete boiler with the distilled water before returning to the use. That's the most important part. And once the system is completely cleaned with the distilled water, then finally we can take the well treated water for the boiler to further use. That's the most important part. In this video, I have tried my best to explain you guys regarding the hydraulic pressure testing of the boiler, and you guys can understand it. Thank you.